Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another video. So today I've already stamped this image out. This is Power Poppy's Tiger Lily Extra Large. And I'm just going in with Y11. I picked a really light color that you're never going to notice is in there at the end. And I'm just going through and mapping out where all of my darkest points are going to be. There's a lot of artist drawn lines in this image, so I just use that in order to help me figure out where my darkest colors are going to go, because I do prefer to work my Copics from dark to light and only do one coat. I'm using Copic Express It blending card, and I stamped it with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So we're just going to work our way around the image here, and I'm just going to add in this Y11 to figure out where all of my darkest points are. Nice and simple. I love flowers. I seriously could color and paint and flowers all day, every day, and be perfectly happy. So that's our first one. Now I'm going to go in with an E19, and this is my darkest color before I come back in the end and add some drop shadows because I thought it needed it. Because I like to overdo the depth on everything. So I'm going to add those two stripes down the center of the flower, and then where all of the shadows will be and where it pinches together at the base of the flower. So I'm just following where Marcella has put in her lines to direct me in the direction of where our dark points and our highlights are going to be, where the flower folds over itself, where one petal is on top of another petal, and again, that I don't even know what that vein is that runs down the middle of the flower is actually called, because I really don't know much about flowers. I just know that I like to color them all the time. So I don't know if you guys can hear the lawnmower running outside, but it's that time of the year where I am, and the snow is gone, and it's time to get everybody's yards in shape. I'm hoping to do mine later this week. Random fact. So we're just going to make our way around with E19. And then I'm going to start in with my reds and oranges. And now the world gets bright. So we're going to come in with our R08, and I'm going to go right over top of all of the darkest lines, going all the way back to the stamp line, and then blending them out into the image. I'm not going very far because Tiger Lilies are primarily orange, so I didn't want to fill it too much with that E19 and this R08 because they are more on the red side of their color families as opposed to the orange. That'll just give us a lot of nice depth at the center and down the veins of those flowers. I tend to color with a ton of markers. I overdo everything. I don't know. I enjoy it though. So what I really love about doing flowers, especially through Copics, is you don't have to worry about everything blending together beautifully. Flowers are very stripy and non-perfect, which is awesome and lets you do whatever you want to do. I want to take one in colored hot pink yet. I may restamp this and do a hot pink one. If I do, I'll film that too. So just like everything else, we're working our way all the way around. I tend to do one color at a time instead of doing one petal at a time. That way I know that I'm being a little bit consistent on how far I'm pulling colors out. So now I'm going to go in with an YR09. I'm starting to brighten everything up and bring in the orange. So you can see how that Y11 that I did at the start just to kind of map things out is completely gone. I'm coloring over top of it with the darker colors, and you can't tell it's there and you'll never know it is. That's what I love about using alcohol markers, is you can start with something super light and cover it up with your dark to marking where your shadows are going to be, and when you go over it with the darker colors that you're using, you'll never know it was there. So it's definitely a way to start, especially when it's my first time coloring an image, because I haven't done it before, so I'm not 100% positive on where I want everything, and then if I change my mind and some of the places that I thought were going to be darker end up being lighter, it doesn't affect the image in the end. So you can see how it slowly starts to come to life here. Now this is YR18. This is a duller orange. I just wanted to make sure that the center of the flower looked a little more shadowed. It didn't give me the appearance I wanted. It works out fantastic, but I still have to go in with some grays at the end to add some drop shadows on top of everything. just to bring it a little bit more to life. Oh, I missed this petal, so I went back to the YR09 because apparently I didn't add any of that into it. Now I'll go back to that YR18. It's like, what am I doing? Jesse, what are you doing? Okay, so anyway, back to where I wasn't. YR07. And you can see how I'm just slowly bringing those colors together and closing the gap in the highlight. I don't want to lose that highlight completely because when I come in with my yellow, and I do leave a little bit of white in the flower as well, I want those highlights to really pop at the end. Now YR04. This is my last orange before I get to a yellow. And the yellow marker actually brings the flower to life. I find that it just adds enough of that bright instead of just being orange. So this is sped up to 3 times its original speed. So it took me about 45 minutes or so, half an hour, 45 minutes to color this image. So Y15 is the yellow I chose, so it's darker than that original color I went through with. And you can see how it just kind of brightens it all up right away. As soon as that yellow goes onto those petals, they jump to life. It's amazing the difference that just that one color made to the entire image. So now I'm really happy with it, and I'm going to go through and color the stamens. So I come in with that E19, and I decide that that's not dark enough. It's just blending right into that center, to the center of the flower where I use the E19 to start with. So I go and I grab a BV25 just to give me a lot more contrast in that center so that those stamens look separate from the rest of the flower and everything doesn't meld together. Now I'm going to go in with the YR07 and color it in completely. And then I'm like, you really can't see those, as you guys can see watching the video. So I go and I grab a couple of grays, and I'm going to start with a W7. And I'm just going to add some drop shadows underneath of those stamens. And you can see how instantly you can see them. They come to life. It's amazing the difference this extra little bit adds. You don't have to do it by any means. It looked fantastic before. But I really think going in with these gray markers at the end and layering them over top of all of those colors made a world of difference. So then I'm going to blend that out a little bit with the W5. And then I'm looking at the image and I decide that, you know what, those petals that are pushed back behind the 3 petals on top need a little bit too. So I grab the W7 again and I'm going to add a drop shadow there as well. And I'll do the exact same thing I did on the other. I'll go through with the W7 and then I'll take the W5 and blend it out just a little bit. And I really think that helps bring the lily to life. And this image is fantastic. It's super huge. You'll see in the picture of the finished card at the end how large this flower actually is, because that panel is 4 by 5 1/4 to fit on a card front. So it's huge and it's amazing, and I can't wait to color it again. We're adding in all of these shadows with the W5 now. And then I'm going to take an E77 and I'm going to color in the tops of those stamens that I forgot about. E74 and then E71 to blend it all together. Now I'm going to use the W3 and the W1 and I'm going to outline this entire image. Again, it's creating a drop shadow. And it's just lifting that flower a little bit more up off the paper without actually cutting it out and popping it up. So I'm just trying to achieve that shadow you would get if the image was cut separately and put on foam tape without having to do that stuff. I'm just slowly, and anywhere I go outside, I've gone outside the lines. There was a couple places where there was a little bit of yellow or a little bit of orange outside. You don't notice it after I go over it with the gray, and then I'm just blending that out a little bit more with the W1. And then I was hunting around for sentiment for this card, and I didn't know what to use, so I found a little hello sentiment in one of the new W+9 sets that I haven't colored yet. I'll get on that. I'll film that one too. But I love this hello. So I took it and I just stuck it in my stamp positioning tool here and used VersaFine Onyx Black ink and stamped that in. I did take that W3 and W1 marker and outline that as well to create the drop shadows. So there you have it. Have a wonderful day. Bye!